You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining me today, sporting the podcast. I have a puppy, and it's my hours of sleep have diminished. It's a lot, and trying to balance life and all that stuff, Ryan. But cute as hell, huh?
Cute as all hell.
I mean, it's just like I can't stop holding him and kissing him.
I love that when I come here, he comes glumping down the stairs and doesn't know how to use his legs yet.
Oh my gosh.
It's so cute.
It is so it's not cute when he shits in his crate.
No, that's
but
he
only
cute.
did that once, and I left because I left him for 3.5 hours, and I made the mistake of feeding him before, so I didn't get mad at him. But it was anyway. Thanks for all the support and the love. You know, this podcast depends mostly on patrons and you guys listening. Our listeners are loyal. Go to patreon.com/insideofyou. Become a patron. I'll message you, and you guys really help. They really help. And thanks for listening. If you're here for Krysten Ritter, you've come to the right place. We did a project together. She's amazing. I just went to a concert with her. We're like I'm like her gay best friend. That's what I am. People are like, "Oh, Krysten." I'm like, no. We're buddies.
Cool.
And yeah, she's awesome. And what a talent. Ryan, what are the handles?
At Inside of You Pod on Twitter, at Inside of You Podcast on Instagram and Facebook.
That's right. The Inside of You online store is also, we got Lex statues of me. There are only 5 left, and they were made. They're bronze 220. I don't know. They're this big. They're big. They're nice. And then they're signed by me, and there's a bunch of other Smallville stuff. And Inside of You stuff, brand new big tumblers that are awesome. So check it out, Inside of You online store. And my band Sunspin, we're playing. So I really would appreciate it. The new album came out, Never Is What It Is, streaming everywhere. Go to sunspin.com for more information. Or if you want tickets to our show, it's a virtual show. So you can watch from your home, and we read messages, and we respond to you, and we play a bunch of songs, and there's prizes. It's a lot of fun. So if you want to support the band, go to sunspin.com or go to stageit.com and type in Sunspin. So very fun.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And that concert that we're doing, the virtual, is May 6th, Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please, if you haven't listened, please give it a chance. I know a lot of you guys listen. And you're like, I'm not listening to your band. But maybe if you haven't, you could try, and I think you'd like it. Whatever. Yeah, that's about it. I think we should just do this. I think we should get into Krysten Ritter. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. Right before we started rolling, you said that you don't do a lot of these, but you're really private.
Yeah, I am. I'm not a huge fan of doing a bunch of interviews because I get nervous about it, and sometimes I don't love extra attention on myself, or things get picked up. But I want to support you and come do it. We've been talking about doing this interview for
a long time,
over 2 years.
Yeah, I bumped into you a couple times, whether it was our good friend Dave Yarovesky's screening of Nightbooks.
Yeah, but even way before that, I think.
No, it was you were walking your child down Melrose, and I was like, "Hey!"
Oh yeah, I love running into you. I ran into you at a concert too.
Yes.
Was it Bruce Springsteen?
No, I've never gone to a Bruce Springsteen concert. Was it Morrissey?
Nope.
Was it The Cure?
Nope.
Was it anything?
It was L.A. downtown, big place.
L.A. Hollywood Bowl? Greek?
Nope. Something downtown.
If it wasn't an 80s band, there's a good chance it wasn't me.
No, it was definitely you.
You
were wearing your leather jacket.
Leather jacket. Yeah.
What was that? This would have been a really long time ago. Anyway. Was it a sports game instead? Did I run into you at the Lakers or something?
Maybe it was a Lakers game. I think it was a Lakers game.
I've been to one Lakers game.
I think that might have been it.
Because I only remember the meeting, and it was outside with all the doors to a big event space. Might have been that.
Could have been a Rams game.
Definitely not a Rams game.
No, we went to one. We could do this all day, folks.
All day.
And you're probably going to shut off.
What concerts have we been to?
No, okay. But I always love seeing you too. And it's funny because...
Yeah, you're one of those people you can run into and it's no time has passed.
Yeah, I just was talking to a friend about that because I don't ever nothing's ever weird with me.
Yeah,
I don't feel I'm like, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
If there's that, yeah.
really nice, easy person to get along with. Let's just let the production.
I mean,
report
I
show.
would say yes. I mean, I'm not the easiest person in the world. I don't think any of us are that easy when people really get to know us and know our little idiosyncrasies and their little, our little fucking traits and
dark
things.
underbellies.
Yeah, those. I mean, nobody really wants to see that, right? You have to keep some of it private.
Sure.
I mean, there's some things about you that you think that, oh my God, if they knew that, they would just look at me so differently.
Sure.
There are.
Yeah, of course.
Things you do, certain ways you act, certain, just things.
Absolutely.
See, we're not going too private. I mean, those aren't that private. Those are little characteristics of what makes us human.
Yeah.
But no, I loved working with you. We worked together, and I noticed you were unlike anyone I've ever worked with, being that you had just. It's not that people I've worked with don't have a confidence, an air about them, how they hold themselves. But I remember you were so easygoing, so like present with everybody, but you never seemed nervous about the work or intense about the work. It was just, that's work. Work's part of me. Here we go. Are you always like that? I just was like, it was intimidating in a way because you were so just on, and it was natural and it was effortless. At least that's how I perceived it.
Thank you.
This is the last compliment I'm giving you.
That's okay. No, I appreciate that because I do feel like when I'm at work, when I'm on set, when I'm like doing a show, that is probably where I'm the most myself because I love it and I work hard at it and I'm ready when I get there. Like I have a exhaustive sort of prep process and then I throw it all away once I'm on set and I'm just there. And so I appreciate that you saw me that way because that's kind of, yeah.
That's how you feel.
That's how I feel.
So are you saying that there's sort of a juxtaposition of like you're on set, that's your world, I'm confident in this, but in the real world, maybe you're not as.
I think I'm not as with the like publicity side of it and doing interviews and like the press support that you have to do for projects.
Why is that, you think?
It just feels like a different kind of attention on you. It feels like much more pressure. It feels like more personal, I guess. And when you're playing a character, you get to hide behind that and like you're acting and it's a performance and that's kind of where my strength is. And then when it gets to like, the personal stuff, I always start just like I get anxiety. I sort of shut down.
Okay,
I'm like,
you
fuck,
do.
what do I say? What do I do? I hate when things like sometimes you just don't want attention on things.
This is normal. This is when you do red carpets.
Sure.
I bet you hate that.
I don't mind the red carpet.
Why is that?
Because
But you have to pose and like, Krysten, over here, Krysten. And you have to put that little mouth kind of chin thing down and and everybody does it. all the women, the actresses, all the dudes, you have to kind of, how you look good and you have to do that.
Yeah.
But do you ever get mad at yourself for, why am I putting that on? If you don't put it on, like if I don't do like something,
you're gonna look like
I look like an idiot. I look stupid because I don't photograph as easily as well as you do, and so I get a little bit like I have to go, or act goofy or something.
I don't mind the red carpet, the photographs. I'm like before I was an actress, I was a model, so I had that like kind of built into the work. Like that's part of the work for me.
That's right.
It's the interview parts afterwards. It's the talk shows. It's those things that like.
What's the worst interview? You have to say who it was, but did you ever have one experience where you're like, I'm done?
I didn't, not one that I was like, I'm done. But I feel like, whenever you're supporting a project and you have to do like the talk show circuit, I would always just put so much pressure on myself and I'd be like in the dressing room, like panicking, breaking out in hives and sweating. And nobody would sort of believe me or like validate that because they'd be like, you got this, Krysten. Your interviews are always great. You got this. And I'm like, no, really, I'm so nervous. I can't do it. But then you do it and you like work the nerves. You use the nerves to like make a cute appearance and then it's over and then everyone's like, see, you got this. But
it's this cyclical thing.
Yeah.
It just, even though it's validated at the end, like, great, you go right back into that same feeling.
Yes. And there was one time I was doing like a tour for my book and I was about to go like speak in front of people at Barnes & Noble. Right. And I was very nervous. I felt so much pressure. I was so scared. I was shaking. And there was a person there, a publicist person, who said like, okay, if you really feel like you're going to throw up or faint, just look at me and I'll come get you. And that was so disarming to me because then I was like, I felt validated. I felt like, okay, I have a lifeline. I'm going to be okay. So that's like the one like thing that I had sort of remembered.
See, you're not getting private, but you're getting real. And you're talking about that, which is, to me, is helpful.
Helpful. I think it's important for people to know that like what sometimes might look really easy for somebody, there is actually not.
Yeah.
And when things are still like really, really hard, do it anyway. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Do it anyway.
You're not going to die. You're going to get through this.
You don't have to have like level 10 confidence to like go after something, because sometimes we're all faking it.
That's true. I get that. And I get that you talk about validation.
Yeah.
That's like, I think that's just human nature in general. It's like when someone isn't feeling well, or you want someone to nurture you or pay attention and just help you and support you and make you feel comfortable. And a lot of people, like, I didn't get that as a kid.
Sure.
I just didn't get it. I don't know if I've talked about that necessarily, but you know, I remember these things. These are vivid. These aren't me making them up. They happened. My parents were never, I remember opening the garage door I was probably 12, and they had glass windows, and it was old, rickety, shitty garage door, and it was hard to open. And I opened it, and a piece of glass fell and hit me in the mouth.
Okay.
And split my face open, blood everywhere.
Okay.
And my dad just kind of laughed and says, "Go in and put ice on it." I go, I need to go to the hospital. I need to get stitches. And he's like, "No, you don't." And I remember one time, many times where fireworks went off in my hand. These spinners, when I was a kid, you know, the spinners, they got caught in my hand and burned my hands badly. And I was screaming in agonizing pain. And I put your hand in cold water.
Yeah.
And I remember hours, it just wouldn't go away. I slept with my hand in a pot of ice water.
Oh.
And this was sort of, I remember, I didn't think about it then, like, oh, they're terrible. But as you get older, you're like, no one was there to sort of
give you your emotional needs.
Like validate that, hey, I'm in pain, take care of me, help me. I'm in pain, help me, take care. And a lot of people just don't really, it's not that they don't care, that they just, I guess, don't care.
And it's also, you know, it's a different time, right? Our parents really didn't know. No one knew what they were doing. I think now, like, people, like, with parenting, I have a child. So when you're saying this, I'm like, yeah. So when this happens, like, the most important thing to me is, like, meet my kid's emotional needs. Make sure that he knows, like, I'm there. Mommy loves him. So he never has to waste any time, like, earning love or getting love. He can just be his wonderful, happy, independent self and thrive. And, you know, validating his feelings helps so much. Like, if we like talk about the feeling, we name the feeling.
How old is he?
He's 3.
And so you can talk to him, like, he gets things. He's smart.
He's real smart. And he's so wonderful, and he's happy, and he's confident, and he's like.
Do you tell him he's smart all the time?
All the time.
You're so smart.
I tell him how every day, or I'll like tell him secrets. I'll go over and whisper to him. Like the other day.
And he'll tell you secrets?
Yeah, I'll just whisper to him. I say, I just want to let you know that I watched you like playing with this kid earlier, and it was so awesome watching you learn and grow, and you're so smart, and you're so funny, and you're so kind. I whispered that to him, and he said, "Thank you, Mama." Ugh, my kid is just delicious. I'm so lucky.
That's just like, wow.
I know.
How important is that to children to have parents who are, I mean, I've talked about this so many times, but like just a positive thing and to fill them with positive, you know, vibes and, you know, they will get more confident and smart and feel this way because of you, because of their mom, you know, or dad. And it's so important.
Having a kid is a big opportunity to like heal your own shit and do something else. And
to be a better person than maybe your parents were.
Totally. And put a lot of consciousness into it. And that's really what I'm all about with my kid.
So do you try to do things because maybe your parents didn't give you certain things as a kid? So maybe you're
totally. And who knows, like I'm just trying to doing my best to make sure that he just feels happy and loved. That's it. And, but yeah, like just being conscious about things. So you know, you grow up and you're like, you know, stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about. Then you're like, I cannot believe. Or like, your hand's fine, put it in ice. Like, you know, let's acknowledge what's going on. And so the kid doesn't feel so spun.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe that's why I haven't had children yet.
Yeah, but when you do, you'll see it's an amazing opportunity to to like put all of this stuff somewhere. It's a great healing opportunity.
But
it's a rebirth.
Yeah. I guess the fear is, I don't want to make the same mistakes. And I know I won't, but I'll put so much
because you're conscious
pressure.
about it. You won't, and you'll work at it. You'll go to therapy. You'll take a real look at it.
Yeah. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. But sometimes life gets you bogged down and you may feel overwhelmed or like you're not showing up in the way you want to. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of you. Because when you feel empowered, you're more prepared to take on everything life throws at you. And who couldn't use a few better coping skills to be able to handle all of life's curveballs? Look, if you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, flexible, affordable, and entirely online. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. BetterHelp can help you be the best you possible. Try it today. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/inside today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/inside. Do you go to therapy?
Of course.
How long have you been going to therapy?
I kind of go in and out of it.
Yeah.
I'll kind of like tackle something. I'm a hardcore person. Right?
You are. The music you listen to, I remember being on set with you.
Yeah.
And you were just listening to some, like, I don't want to say avant-garde shit, but you were always listening to some indie stuff.
Yeah.
You had an indie band.
Yeah.
You kind of like, you're sort of like, you're a beautiful soul, but you have a darkness to you.
For sure.
You definitely have this darkness. And I want to know where that comes from.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like what I always gravitated when I was when I was young, I was into that shit, and it just like stuck. I still like dress like when I was a teenager.
What is that shirt?
This is Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I thought for a second it was Journey, but how dare you wear a Journey shirt? Never. You used to make fun of my music.
I love your music.
You
What
do?
are you talking about? Yeah, I love your music. I love your big 80s rock music.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Not to get too private, but like growing up, how was growing up? Were your parents like supportive and cool and whatever?
Listen, when I was growing, I'm from a farm in Pennsylvania, and before that, I'm from an even smaller town. And what I was doing,
Shickshinny,
Pennsylvania, really small town.
Right.
And so what I was doing was very foreign. Like nobody really understood it. I was scouted at the mall when I was in 15 and started modeling at 16.
How does that happen?
You are in the mall and somebody comes up to
So
you.
wait a minute, you were in the mall randomly,
Yeah.
and they were there, or you heard they were there and you went.
Honestly, it's so long ago now that like I just remember being like at Payless shoe store or something like that.
Good.
And this woman came up to me and was like, "Oh, have you ever thought about modeling?" And my mom and I are like, "What?" No.
How tall were you at this age?
Tall, 5'9",
5'9",
and skinny. Like
I was
like,
5'4" when I graduated high school.
No, you weren't.
Oh yeah,
that is not true.
I was the smallest kid in my high school.
But you're tall.
Well, yeah, that's probably why I had back problems, because I grew like 9 inches in my in college.
That's funny.
But go ahead. So you're like this tall, awkward kid.
Yeah, so I got like plucked out of my town and started like, going to Manhattan by myself and started traveling by myself. And it was just like,
Your parents let you travel by yourself.
I mean, yeah.
That was the
did.
time period, wasn't it?
That was a different time.
They just put you on a train and you went.
Yes.
As a 15-year-old girl, you went to New York.
I went on a bus because there was no train that went to my small town. But I went on a bus and I did get picked up at Port Authority. They thought I was a runaway. I don't.
What would they do?
They detain you and like get people on the phone, and then they finally let you go to your modeling job. But
How many times did that happen?
Once or twice.
It just seems like it wouldn't happen.
It happens, yeah.
Like they would give a shit.
It's crazy. Like, I'm so grateful for it because, like, it made me grow up fast. It made me savvy. It made me take personal responsibility for what I'm doing. And it made me, like, pretty street smart. But now that I have a kid, I'm like, over my dead body.
Yeah, right?
No
Different
way.
world.
Different world.
But growing up, you said, hey, you kind of, like, validated or made it seem like it was a good thing to grow up fast. Do you think growing up fast is a good thing?
Well, I think before that happened, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. And I think
Who does?
And I think that needs to be there needs to be some attention on that, because it's a dangerous thing for kids to have this much pressure on them to know what they want to be when they grow up, what school they're going to go to, for how, like, it's so much pressure. And I didn't really know. And we don't really know. That's a scary place to be. So when I finally like found the thing. That took some time. I was like, fuck yeah, this is what I'm doing.
Were you smart in school?
Yeah, enough. Yeah, I was smart in school. I was like I was kind of like down the middle.
But you thought this is cool. I'm going to go model.
No, I did not think that was cool. I was like modeling and not sure, but it was an opportunity to get out of the house and get out of my small town. And it wasn't until I was always kind of like big and bubbly and obnoxious and annoying and like funny.
Were you really?
Yeah. I was always like class clownish a little bit sometimes.
Right.
And so there was an actor strike at one point, and the agency I was with had an acting division, and I was always walking by the room like hi. And so they were like, oh, would you like to go out on commercial auditions? And I'm like, yes, thought you never ask. So then I started going to commercial auditions, and that was such a huge difference from modeling, when you're just like looking at your book and, oh, your nose is too pointy, oh, your butt's too big, whatever. And this was an opportunity for me to be funny and silly and goofy, and they liked that about me. So I was like, yes.
So most models aren't silly and goofy that you were around. You were kind of the goofy one?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. They're not like that. Models are like encouraged not to talk. Now it's different. I think like you have to have, like, if you're a model, you have to have like some side hustle or something else or something special about it. But at that time, it was like, you don't, just stand there and look pretty like a clothing rack.
Did you?
And the worst job for me, let's just be honest, the worst job for me would be like holding still and shutting up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But did you know, was it intimidating? Were other models sitting around there kind of like looking at her like, she's not pretty.
Yes.
She's not blonde. She's not beautiful.
Sure.
She's weird.
People would always say that I wasn't pretty. That was always
Wait, who would say that?
Come on. I'm not gonna like.
I'm not saying I'm proverbial who.
Yeah, no.
Like who? Like adults, kids. You were picked on?
I wasn't that I was picked on, but I was like the other sort of thing. You know
what's funny?
I wasn't like. Let's just be honest. I'm not like a blonde bombshell with like. I'm just a different thing.
You're a dark shell.
Oh,
a
shut the
dark
fuck up.
bombshell. Well, you are gorgeous. That's
I'm not
obvious.
fishing here. I'm not fishing. But
I know
I'm
you're
just
not. I'm casting.
Okay. But that's how come I learned to be funny.
There was this girl in high school named Heather Hart.
Oh, that's a good name.
And she was super tall. And every guy was just sort of like
too
not
tall?
into it.
Yeah.
Because she was just this tall girl and like she was
skinny.
Like, yeah, and she was doing like modeling stuff. And I remember it was like, but all of a sudden when she got older, like when she turned like 17 or whatever, I mean, every guy in the world wanted her. So she was awkward growing up, I think, because she was just so tall and was like, oh my God, the tall girl.
Yeah.
And everybody else was shorter than her.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden people realized they don't realize the beauty that's actually in front of them or the beauty that's going to mature into real beauty or whatever. I think that, look, I was one of the least popular kids in my school.
Oh, really? I imagined you like being like a football quarterback hot babe. No?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I wasn't. And, but it's funny because I think definitely people later on couldn't believe that I went as far. I mean, obviously went as far as I did. Small town, like 3,000 people in Newburgh, Indiana.
Yeah.
And, so same sort of thing. But what happens when, where are your parents at now?
They're still in Pennsylvania.
They're in Shitsville. What is it?
Pennsylvania.
They're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Do you go back?
Sometimes my dad actually just came to visit me. I've been on location for a couple of years, like nonstop now. So my dad is
what are you shooting?
Well, I just finished something. I just got back Sunday. I just finished Orphan Black Echoes in Toronto. And then before that I was doing Love and Death for HBO in Austin, which was dope. And before that I was in Oregon. I've just been
so you don't go.
All over.
It's hard. It's better. Easier for people to come to you sometimes. At least for now.
Especially
with
with
a kid.
child.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, everything, the relocation is just a whole other thing now. It's not just like me and my like rocker t-shirts. It's like a thing.
Well, what do you do when you go back, by the way? Whenever it is you go back, is it something where people recognize you?
I mean, yeah, it's a really small little
So
thing.
everybody knows you.
No, but it's not like you're going to see a lot of people. It's like the sticks, you know. But if I went to like the market, sure, I'd probably run into somebody I went to high school with. Yeah, which is cool.
What's the local place where everybody goes? What's it called?
I honestly, I don't know, but there's like the one market you would go and like get stuff is like Sunray Market. I would go there after school.
People are like, hey.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
Do you like when people come up to you and ask you for pictures or autographs, or are you just uncomfortable because that's? How do you feel?
I usually I like it. Usually I'm so grateful to have like anybody even see what I do or have an impact on people. It depends. Like some people are really cool about it and some people aren't that cool about it. Like it just depends on what's happening.
What's a situation you remember that somebody was just not cool?
You know, when someone's like, hey, that person said you're somebody. What are you in? I've never heard. Like, that kind of stuff. That you don't need to bother somebody with that. That's okay.
That is one thing that pisses me off. That's the one thing. I think did I tell you about that? I was in some bar, mistake, years ago, and I was with a couple friends, and this drunk dude comes up to me and goes, "Hey, I don't even know who you are, but like, are you like, I don't care, like, but my friend said you're like, I don't care."
Why throw that bomb into somebody's life? Like, why ruin your night? You're having fun. Why give that like, you know what I mean? Like nasty bomb.
And the thing is, I want to look at them and go, "Fuck off."
Yeah, I know, but you can't.
And you can't. And you're just like, "Hey, yeah, no, I'm just whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm no big deal. Yeah, I don't care." And they're like, you just want to say, "Dude, you drunk fuck, leave me alone."
Yeah.
But you got to be nice.
Yeah, yeah. Typically, though, because like, you know, I've sort of played characters and that have meant a lot to women. And,
yes.
And specifically Jessica Jones. So I get a certain kind of person who wants to connect, and I love that because it's one thing to like just do an acting job, great, love it, but it's another thing. It's kind of so meaningful when you play a character that really resonates with women and men, you know, the way that she has. So I'm always thrilled when people appreciate the work. Obviously, anytime someone comes up to you and says they love your work, you're like, "Fuck, thank you so much." Obviously, so I'm happy to do it, unless I'm like with my little baby and like busy.
It's like, "Hey, just not right now. It's not a good time."
And you have to hold that boundary too, because I don't want my child's photo. You know, I'm really private about him. And he is number one. But when I'm like out and about by myself, sure, come up. I'll fucking take a selfie. Right? Let's rock.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Are your parents really proud of you?
Yeah. Yeah. I think people are pretty shocked by it. You know. Yeah.
Like, does your mom still like every time you do something go, do they watch it all? Or some, like, I don't know if they watch. Jessica Jones is really dark.
My dad wouldn't watch that, no.
And you warned him, "I'm having sex in the first episode."
I didn't even. I just knew it wasn't right for him.
So you told him not to watch it.
It was okay that they didn't watch it. I just, whatever. If they watch it, cool. But yeah, I mean, yesterday my mom texted me, I guess Bryan Cranston was just on Kelly Clarkson this week, like talking about the big like death scene with me, and they're sending it to me. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. So
really?
Yeah.
Do you still talk to Aaron and Brian?
Yeah.
I just saw Aaron at a karaoke party.
I love Aaron
mutual
so
friend.
much.
He's such a nice guy. He was nervous about karaokeing.
Oh, God.
And then he ended up doing it. It was really good.
He'd be great.
He was great.
Yeah.
But what was that experience? I mean, you were on how many episodes?
I don't know.
Not many.
Not many. I was in the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 8 episodes. I don't know.
Then that's a lot.
1 episode the following season.
And how many episodes did you think you were going to be on when you first got the part?
Like 5. I ended up being in it more than I thought.
And was it something that it was already a hit by this point?
It wasn't a hit.
It wasn't a hit at this point.
It wasn't even like on the radar yet. When I took the gig, it was only a 1 season, 7 episode show because of the writer's strike. So it was a big downtime in the industry. It was all slow. I really liked the part and I wanted to get it. And my agent at the time, he was really good and really smart. His name was David Letterman. I was at, Letterman with a D. I was at Innovative Artists. I had another offer for something else that was more of like what I was doing. And he was like, "Let's hang on and let's see what happens with Breaking Bad, because no one knows about the show yet, but it's really good. And I think you could be really cool in this role." So we waited until that happened.
And you were so happy you got that.
Fuck yeah. Because it was more like, you know, I just felt like it was more in my like
wheelhouse.
Taste. Yeah. Because before that, I was just doing a lot of like goofy, ditzy kind of comedy roles, which are fun too. But, you know.
Was Vince on set?
Yeah, Vince was on set, or he was like, you know, what was really cool about him and those kind of showrunners, Melissa Rosenberg is similar, very detail oriented. And I think that is like the key. I think when you have someone with such a true, clear vision, that's when you get some magic. Yeah.
When you say detailed,
like we're talking.
Was Vince directing that episode?
No, he directed El Camino.
Right. But that episode, or a few of the episodes that you did, he didn't direct, but he was there, and he's sort of like almost like Spielberg, Tobe Hooper, and Poltergeist, where Tobe Hooper was directing it, but did Spielberg direct it?
Well, it's just kind of the thing, like for one stupid example, like the character's wearing a belt. They take pictures of both belts, and it goes to Vince. Vince is going to choose you know what I mean?
Yes.
All little things, like everything mattered to him, which I think is very cool. And Melissa Rosenberg has a similar style, and that doesn't always happen with showrunners, right? It's like a free for all.
This podcast is brought to you by Dove Men Plus Care. Guys, do you get distracted during the day thinking about your underarms sweating or itching or emitting an odor? Ugh. Do those thoughts keep you from showing care when it counts? New and improved Dove Men Plus Care Antiperspirant with 72-hour sweat and odor protection and 1/4 moisturizing cream helps you forget about your underarms so you can be present for the moments that matter. Don't let underarm insecurities keep you at arm's distance from the ones you care about. Buy new and improved Dove Men Plus Care Antiperspirant wherever personal care products are sold. This message is sponsored by Discover. Did you know you could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection? The latest innovation from Discover. Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And they'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection. Were you surprised? Of course you're surprised, but after your character dies,
yeah.
If you haven't seen the show, I'm tough shit. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
I mean,
by this point, it's
fuck
right off.
Yeah.
What was it, 2012?
I don't know, yeah.
Whatever. When you shot it,
yeah.
It was hard. It was probably intense.
Yeah.
You know, it's so effed up.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that scene would be a tenth
of what
as
it is?
big as what it became?
No fucking idea. No way. No. I didn't know any of it.
When you saw it, before it all came out and everybody else commented, were you like, people are going to be talking about this one?
Well, we started to, so that was the big episode that I was in, and my character had a lot to do, and the network started to sort of talk about the performance, and like it was, like people were getting excited about it. So we were invited to watch it in a room. It was me, my managers, my agent at the time was Brent Morley. I'll never forget it. And we watched it, and all of us were on our feet, like hands over mouths, fucking energy. Like we were shocked. We were just shocked and so moved by it. And that was like the coolest fucking thing I had ever done. I was like, holy shit.
Brought your own not your, but the performance, the experience brought you to your feet.
First, my agent stood at his feet, and I just felt him like stand up, like, and then kind of all of us. And I'm kind of, when you watch yourself, you have a different experience of it, because I'm like, oh, in this moment, what was actually happening was this. So you're watching it, but then you kind of are able to just like sit back and enjoy it too. I was just so proud to be like in something cool, right? Doesn't always happen.
I know.
Sorry.
It rarely happens.
Happen.
Never happens.
Never happens.
And there's so many people out there, so many actors, directors, whatever, that they are capable of doing something. But the things that
gotta line
the
up.
perfect storm of it being a great show, all eyes are on it, the right director, the right creator, the right props, the right whatever,
focus puller.
the DP, everything comes together to make this moment, and it
never happens.
I hate to say it, but there's a lot of not obviously skill, but luck.
Yes.
There's a lot of luck for all these things to come together.
Yeah.
A lot of skilled people, but for that to all come together, that is just it's miraculous. It's one of the best scenes ever on the screen.
Yeah.
Let alone TV, film, whatever it is.
It's crazy. I can't, it's still like, it's crazy. I feel so lucky to have been a part of something so amazing and so well done. And like they caught lightning in a bottle.
Did you continue to watch that show when you were?
Fuck yeah. I'll watch it again. I might like fast forward my scenes a little bit, you know, because I'm like, oh, what am I doing? Idiot, young. And but I love the show. I
love it.
I feel like I could probably start watching it again tomorrow. I need a show to watch. Maybe I'll watch Breaking Bad.
I think my favorite shows of all time are Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones.
Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. Those are the two best shows.
I think that's it.
Sopranos is pretty great.
I've only done one season.
Sure.
It's pretty great, but it
didn't hook you in that way.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to watch them. But is there anything else I'm missing? There's some great shows, and people listening here go, what about this? And what about that? They'll be chiming in.
Let's get the chime in. I think Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones are my two favorite shows. And then I also, like, on the lighter side, Friends and Sex and the City. That's yeah. But I'm a girl. Those are
sure. No, I'm not saying they're bad. They're obviously great shows to many people.
Yeah. I love them.
Yeah. I'm sure they're great. Yeah. They're obviously great. Look at the success. Yeah, Although there's a lot of shows that are successful that aren't great shows.
That's true.
A lot of shows.
It's weird.
Yeah. Gosh. Did this obviously, that role, would you say, launched your career?
100%.
That role, I wouldn't say little, but that significant role on that show launched your career.
Absolutely.
And you probably didn't get paid a lot.
I didn't get paid a lot at all. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, but it was worth every moment.
It was worth it. That wasn't for the money.
And Netflix fell in love with you. We got to find a show for this girl.
Yes, no, I don't know.
Hence Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I had Jessica Jones, yeah.
Which happened how many years after?
Well, first I did The Bee in Apartment 23 after.
Yes,
yeah.
That lasted a couple seasons?
Yeah, 2 seasons.
You love that show.
I do. I would do it again in a second.
Why didn't it get picked up? Why?
It was on ABC. It was right before the metrics sort of changed. Like we got canceled for numbers that now are considered like massive hits, right? It was kind of like scheduled badly. It just was kind of dragged around by a shit smeared dog. Didn't really, but it was also very edgy. We really pushed the envelope. The writing was way ahead of its time. And it was just one of those like great little quirky shows that probably served everybody better by just being 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, cult following. People love it. I love it. I will watch it and laugh at every line because the writing is so good.
Do you get upset? How do you deal with cancellations or rejection? I mean, obviously you started at a young age with rejection everywhere.
Yeah, it's just part of it.
So when they said, who called you to tell you the bitch from Apartment 23?
Yeah,
right.
that was the hardest rejection that whatever. It's all in the category.
Because you were surprised.
I was surprised, but I also loved it so much. And
Did you cry?
Knew. Yes, I cried, but I would cry before that. There were days driving home from set where I just had the best day and I would go home. I would drive home crying, knowing that it'll never be as good as this again. I had the best day. The producers on that show, let me tell you, Jeff Morton, he's a producer for Modern Family. He's done like part of his whole system is like, let's make sure the cast and the crew are rested and happy so they could be funny.
Who is that?
No
one thinks that.
No one thinks that. And he is so special. And I want to do another show with him so badly because he cares about people.
I want to work with Jeff Morton.
Jeff!
I'll audition for you on tape.
He just cared about that. And we would shoot like 10-hour days.
What?
Comedies. And you know what?
Oh my God.
I felt so supported to like be able to push myself even further. So all I was trying to do all day was like learn my funny lines and how do I make them even funnier? How do I improvise this thing? How do I do this little weird character thing? Because I was so supported that I was able to be like free to fucking play.
See, this is an important thing you're saying. Most creators, most studios, whoever is involved in all this process of making a show, they don't realize that, and this goes not for just acting world, it goes for the entire planet of people, bosses out there, corporations. If you treat the people well, if you support them,
you'll get better and more.
You'll not only get better performances and more passion and more it's just going to be a better show. Everybody's going to be happier, more joy. And they don't. They always, 90% of the time, they want to show how powerful they are. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give you the money you deserve. I'm not going to give you the hours. You're going to work overtime. We're going to force you. We're changing this. Who cares? You're not even, they don't care.
No.
And that is really refreshing to hear that someone was that guy.
He was that guy. and it was such a magical experience. But that was after Breaking Bad. So that was kind of like, did the Breaking Bad thing. And before that, I was like working actress, hustling, just, whatever. And then that was when I started to like get offered things. And Don't Trust the Bee was next. And I just fucking loved it.
And Jessica Jones, was there something you auditioned for?
Jessica Jones was something I auditioned for with like fake sides. And I was like, the material was fabulous. It was so loaded. There was so much subtext. There was so much to play and so much to do.
How long did it take you to learn these lines for an audition?
Oh, that takes me no time.
No time.
No time. But it's the work. I do listen, I work really hard before the day and then to get rid of it. And so when I just try to know things so well that you throw a grenade at me, I know how to handle it. Or that way if you're so prepared, you know your lines. I can memorize lines really quickly. It's the subtext and the performance underneath. Like that's where I spend most of the time.
You could learn 5 pages of dialogue right now in the next 30 minutes.
Listen, I hate to be an asshole, but yes, I can. But that's not what it's about.
No, it is.
No, it's not.
I mean, a lot of it is.
The subtext is where the work goes.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I'm saying, though, if I could learn 5 pages of dialogue in a half an hour, my life would be exponentially better.
Sure.
It takes me a while to learn them. But I do what you do is I learn it inside out. So if they throw a grenade at me, and let me ask you, has something happened or did something happen in your past that caused you to have the deepest preparation because maybe you weren't prepared early on in your career and something happened and they threw a curveball at you and you didn't handle it as well as you thought?
No, I think that just because, so when I was modeling, I would kind of notice that, models would get sent home after 2 seasons that they didn't hit. So I had this like observation early, like you get one fucking shot. So success is the only motherfucking option, right? So I just had that in me for a long time. And I always could put my head on the pillow knowing if I worked really hard and I prepared and I was ready. If I didn't get the part, that's okay. That was always okay. So for me, my superpower was like working hard. Discipline, working hard. I can show up 5 minutes earlier than you. You might be a better actor than me, but I'm going to like work harder than you. That was kind of like, that was the thing. That was what made me feel like I had control over my career and my life. Working hard.
I love that.
That's it. It was just like, how do I feel good about like, I would never want to like go to an audition and like kind of blow it because I didn't work hard on it. If I didn't get it, okay. That's fine. There's only one. You're not going to get everything. So there's some very specific thing for every part. You are going to hear no 99 times in a row. But if I go in and like do my thing and worked hard at it and do my play and that's it, go home and I had my fun.
How do you? I love this. This makes perfect sense. I love it. How do you? You having fun so far?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I love this. This is just like rapid fire. I mean, it's just like I'm feeling the back and forth. How do you deal with an actor that isn't? Hang on.
Yeah.
We all deal with it.
It's hard.
I'm sure other actors have dealt with me. How do you deal with someone giving them respect, making them feel like you like them, making you feel like you like them as an actor, and not letting them know that you think they are not good because they're not good and you're performing with them? Does that make sense?
Okay, I thought you were going to ask like, how do you work with an actor who doesn't prepare and doesn't work hard and doesn't like do the things?
Well, both.
That's hard. That's hard. That's challenging. It's disappointing when you have
you ever said anything?
No, I try to like lift the people up and like, oh, do you want to run this? Do you want to, try to make it as good as possible? But, I've been pretty lucky. I've had some amazing scene partners who do work hard. And that's the most exciting part. If you get a great scene partner, it's a great game of tennis, as you know. And you're only as good as your scene partner is. I've been really lucky. I've gotten to work with some great people who then like make you better. And you're like, oh, what are you doing with that? Oh, like I just worked with an actor the other day on set. I guess I won't say who it is, but he was so good that in rehearsal, I was so like caught up in what I was watching him like kind of missing my cues, which was so exciting. Just I was just like, "Ooh, what the fuck is
Did you
he
tell
doing?"
him?
I did, and we
think that's
actually
great.
have the same acting teacher, so I told her afterwards, which like
He is really good.
really good. And I got to say, it happened with David Tennant too
David Tennant from
on Jessica Jones. Yeah,
right, Jessica Jones, and then Defenders.
yes,
right.
he wasn't in Defenders, but he was in Jessica Jones. And there was one day
He's the villain.
He's the villain. And there were some scenes where I was just watching him because that was like the dynamic. There was some days where I would just watch him and be like, this guy is fucking jazz. Just he's doing this and then he's doing this and it just he brings
He's that good.
so good. So good. Those are the people you want to work with.
Was it intimidating or exciting?
It's exciting. It's exciting. I love it.
It's just rare.
It's rare. Yeah.
It's rare. I can't say that there have been many where I'm like enamored or, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm working with greatness. I've
Yeah.
got to step up. It's happened.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened a ton of times.
Yeah.
Usually it's like, all right, let's just make this as good as we can make this.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not all of them are going to be home runs, right?
No,
Not every experience.
most things I do aren't home runs.
And like most scenes, like, you know, the best thing about acting, I mean, what I love about it is like when you're so in a scene that you like are so in it and you disappear and you don't know where you stop and the character starts. It's like that moment where you are truly present. It's like that. It's like jumping waves. It's like that namaste and fucking yoga at the end. It's those kind of things where you are so present, everything else just goes away. And that's not going to happen in every single scene.
Yeah.
And sometimes it won't happen for a year. Sometimes it won't happen in an entire project. Sometimes, but when it does, whew, and that's what keeps you coming
Is there
back.
one thing that comes to you that is probably look, let's just say there are tons of great scenes that you've done.
Yeah.
Great moments, great actors, but is there one that stands out in your career thus far that you go, I just remember this day being the most special in terms of like electric and the feeling of acting and the feeling of being in it and just and the way it turned out, or maybe not the way it turned out, but how it felt.
Yeah, I mean, the show that I just finished, I definitely had a lot of opportunities to act and go there, and like was like, fuck yeah, we really did it. But I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so we don't know. The feeling I did have the feeling a handful of times on this one, which is great. But I had it a lot on Jessica Jones as well because I got to do that kind of writing. It's not all exposition. It is all coming from a place of character truth. It's a psychological character study. Mm-hmm. So anytime you get like that juicy backstory and underbelly of the character, like that's when you have the opportunities to do that. Not all characters are going to like, you know, reach the depths of whatever, who you are.
Right.
And that's okay. It's also fun to just hit your mark and say some lines. Yeah. That's also very fun. But yeah, I would say in Jessica Jones, there was just so many.
How many episodes did you do in the first season?
13.
13. You're the lead role. It's called Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
And hence, how soon before you get all the scripts, or are they coming to you as the show is continuing?
On that one, they were coming as the show was continuing. They had written the first 4 episodes, I believe, before I was cast, or maybe the first 3. But I remember then getting the script that they had written after I was cast, and you could tell I was like, oh, wow, they're writing for me.
Now, the question is, you talk about memorizing your lines really fast. That's easy. But when you're working, and I guarantee you're working 12 to 14-hour days.
Minimum. Oh, my God, minimum. Plus hair and makeup and travel time.
So how, by being in the moment, by acting out these scenes, hair and makeup, take after take, all the shit on your feet all day, how and when do you have time to learn the next script, which is the following week?
Here's what I do. I just did this before Orphan Black, and I did it with Jessica Jones. So with Jessica Jones, I had the first 4 scripts. So I will coach with my acting teacher, Marjorie Ballantyne, every single day. Every single day.
Every single day?
Every single day before I leave, before I go.
Before you go.
And we'll do each script. We'll start back at the beginning. We'll as much material as I can get in advance. And then I sit with it. I work on the subtext. We kind of go through it. We like subtext every line. We talk about it. We try to put it.
She's expensive.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I mean, this is an expensive. You're not talking like an hour acting class. You're
No.
You dissect scripts.
Oh, yes. My scripts look like a murder scene. They are covered in ink. There's no white is left by.
You know what mine is?
What?
circles on my lines,
Yeah.
and a couple of little things.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Just notes of like different ways to do things or try things.
Next time you get an opportunity, go coach with Marjorie. See, it'll bring out a whole other. Here's the thing.
I will.
Even roles where I'm like, this is my bread and butter. This is what I can do in my sleep. I don't need to coach. I'll coach with her. She will always find something because 2 heads are better than 1. It's just a support. It's support.
Okay, continue. So you're working on these scenes.
I work on it, exhaust it, and I finish it, and basically could then set it on fire. And then I will not even look at the schedule. I won't look at anything. Oh, this is what we're doing today. Got it.
For the first 4 episodes.
Yes,
unless something changes.
And then on Orphan Black, Orphan Black Echoes, I had the first 5 or 6. So then that's a long time.
But what happens when the 4th episode's over and you're now doing the 5th and there's no Marjorie?
Well, because I have done so much work that this character is now in me, I will know how to do it. I will know how to handle it. That's kind of like what the process is for me.
And so do you pick up a script while you're shooting?
Yeah, I pick up I'll when the script comes out, I'll read it and kind of just like
Start
know
learning
what to
it
do.
a little bit?
Yes, exactly.
You just start bit by bit learning it.
Yeah.
And it's about 40 or 50 pages.
Yeah. Yep.
And by the time you're shooting it, you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
But you don't memorize the scene the night before.
If I don't know it, I will ask. Sometimes, like if we're really in the machine of it, and I'm like, "Oh, where are we?" I ask for my scenes for the next day to be printed at lunch. So if I can get a refresher. I'm like, "Oh, right," and go back to my notes, whatever I need to do. And like, so I'm ready.
So you usually rely on the director and sort of the creator of a project if by chance you get this pages the night before and you've kind of learned them, you know them, but you're like, oh, I haven't had as much time as I usually like to prep on a scene and work it out, that I'll work it out. I trust the process that in the scene I'll find it.
It depends on the context. Like if it's a real scene, real scenes, like I will do all the things. But if it's a thing where like, oh, we're going to like walk down a hallway and like hit a couple marks, then I'm like, okay, hopefully the director has a great shape in mind already.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But if it's like a real scene, I'm going to come in with ideas as well.
Right.
Or like, oh, I saw it like this. How can we figure it out? Because you always, it's hard. It gets harder now too with like such time constraints. Like on rehearsals, it's like, hurry up and throw marks down. Where it should be, let's like make sure we're actually filming something that's worth filming.
Yes. And you know what? You said something there. Have you ever had where they're trying to rush and we got to get done with the day? I remember you and I.
Okay.
Me and you, whatever. Yeah. I'm not great in grammar. We were shooting that pilot that never did anything. And we're sitting in a car and they're really stressed. Yeah. And it's outside and they're like, all right, blah, blah, blah. And do you remember me just going, or maybe it was you. One of us go, guys, hey, we got to get this performance and we got to get something like relax here. We got to get this. We can't just rush through it. It's making everybody stressed out.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember
I do remember that. And everybody was kind of,
like, oh yeah, you're right.
Take a beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just do what we have to do here.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to do that?
I think, once in a blue moon, if you can't like figure out a scene, if you can't block it, if something's not working, we got to take a second. We got to like see where the issue is. How can we fix it? And let's fix it. Let's all make the best thing that we can possibly make. Yeah. So sometimes that comes up and that's just part of it. Yeah. But ideally, what I try to do is when I like get the scripts, if I'm like, if anything feels eggy or if I'm like, this I know isn't going to work because I know how it all goes, I'll talk to the writer in advance. Have a call, send her an email. Yeah. Let's address this first so we don't have egg on our face on the day, so we don't waste production's time.
Do you ever think, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if we got that. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, sure. Like when you're doing, like think about it, you're doing like 100 scenes. Like not all of them are going to, yeah, sure.
Right.
Someone's
and
oh, we got that in the can.
Yeah, you sure? Okay, we're moving on. Yeah. Charlie Cox is back as Daredevil. D'Onofrio's back as Kingpin. I worked with D'Onofrio. Amazing guy. Yeah. Any chance that you'll be back as Jessica Jones?
I have no idea. I hope so.
You really don't have no idea?
No idea, but I hope so. I think that people love Jessica. I know because I live it. And so
do you think there's a good chance?
I honestly, I don't know. And like Marvel doesn't, they're so secretive. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there that of course I would be there in a second. I'd have my boots and jacket on, ready to rock.
Speaking of that, you kind of, did you create the look?
Yes, and I ruined it for myself.
Because it created a whole look for people.
I know. And I'm like, shit, I can't wear my regular clothes anymore.
The leather jacket look?
Yeah. I loved she looked so fucking cool.
Yeah. I think you have a lot to do with almost every time. I think the actor should.
Yes.
But you, like even for Nightbooks, working with our lovely Autumn, who I adore and so hugely talented, but like you worked very close with her to get that look of what you both wanted, envisioned.
It is I am very, very collaborative and very hands-on with the costume designer always because, I sort of always start my characters at home with like a physicality or a walk. And then like, it's the clothes, it's the hair, all of that creates the character. It's not like, here, now you're going to wear this. It's like a real creation from the ground up. And I breathe all that life into it and I need that. And so, yeah, the costume on Jessica Jones, for sure. Like I spent fucking all of it.
Again, quickly on David Tennant. I know he's a genius. He's a great actor. Everybody loves him. There's such a sensation for Doctor Who. I've never seen Doctor Who. Have you seen it?
No, but let me tell you something. There is, and I've seen it because I've traveled with him. And holy shit! And also, when my manager Kyle, I don't know if you've ever met him, but my manager Kyle found out that David Tennant was getting the role. We were sitting in the director's office, S.J. Clarkson, Jessica Jones, looking at the mood boards and the shot list and all of that, and we're like, oh, who's gonna play Kilgrave? And she told us, and Kyle made sounds that I have never heard him make before because he is such a Doctor Who fan. He was like more excited that David Tennant was going to be in the show than when I got the role. And then going to Comic-Con with him and traveling with him, he's the favorite Doctor. People love David Tennant, and it's rightfully so because the guy is not only is an amazing heavyweight actor, he's so lovely and so delicious and just like so fun. I just adore him.
Is he in England?
Yeah, he's Scottish, but he's probably, I don't know where he is.
He's Scottish.
Yeah. He's got that great Scottish accent.
Take a bite of your apple.
Let me take a bite of my apple.
You've gone so fast. Gone so fast here.
You know what?
X gets a square.
I always finish my jobs fast.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's just like it could be any time, but I don't do more than an hour. I just don't like it. I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about great stuff. This is great.
Sure.
So you got Orphan Black, the sequel.
Orphan Black Echoes. Yeah.
Echoes coming out. How many episodes?
That's 10 episodes.
10 episodes on
AMC.
On AMC.
Yep. And Love and Death on HBO.
And you're the lead on that?
No, I'm not the lead in that. I'm the lead of Orphan Black Echoes. I'm not the lead in Love and Death.
What was the hardest series you've worked on? Jessica Jones?
Yeah, that was pretty hard, but in a good way. I'm all good things about that one. That was so fun.
Do you sleep well?
Fuck no, do you?
No.
No, I do not sleep well.
How do you do it then?
You know what? I just keep rocking. I just fucking power through. I don't know.
How old are you?
How old are you?
I'm 50.
I am not 50.
You're like 36 or something.
Sure.
Well, it says on the line, doesn't it?
Yeah, but who cares?
I'm just saying, how do you I never ask a woman her age.
Yeah.
The only reason I said that is because how do you not sleep and able to just keep rocking and rolling?
I don't know. I don't know.
And you don't have any bags under your eyes.
I should because I haven't slept in
and you have
like
a child.
Yeah.
And you can do lead series. So you're doing lead roles. You're taking care of being the best mom, whispering in his ear how awesome he is and how proud of you, and a child and the lead role and looking great and not sleeping. It's an anomaly. You're an alien.
I am tired. I'm not going to lie. I'm very tired. I don't know. I just keep fucking going like a shark.
And the Defenders. You love doing the Defenders.
That was so fun. Because it's all the superheroes with like a lighter schedule. And they're doing a lot of stunts. So we were all sitting around just like shooting the shit. We had so much fun. It was like it was so fun because I love Charlie Cox so much and I love Mike Coulter so much. And Finn was heaven. Like we just had the best time. Just laughing all day.
What's your favorite movie?
Of all time?
Yep.
Fuck. First thing that comes to mind is The Lost Boys, but there's so many more. Grease, Dirty Dancing.
I had Kiefer and Jason Patrick on podcast.
Pitter Patter, Pitter Patter.
They were awesome. They were great.
I love that movie. I love the soundtrack.
I asked them about Julia Roberts.
And?
You know that whole thing?
Yeah.
The scandal?
Yeah, what happened? What did he say?
And they answered it. They were just like, I go, Kiefer, he took off with your ex-fiance that you're about to get married to Italy and is your best friend. And how are you guys sitting here right now? He's like, yeah, well, we're friends, man. And time. And, it's my buddy. I'm like, all right. No, he was cool about it.
You know what? That's why I liked David's movie Nightbooks so much. I love Nightbooks.
I love Nightbooks. I went to the
love-
screening. It was cold at the screening. It was outside. I froze my balls off.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I was there. And it was great. It was such an adventure. And
I think he did such a great job, and I was
such
so,
a great job. You were great in that. Nightbooks on
loved it.
Netflix, guys.
I loved it. I had such a good time doing that show. It was my first gig back after having my son.
They adored you. I don't know anybody who doesn't like working with you.
I like to be at work, so that's fun and infectious. I've only been on like one set that was like really miserable, but most of the time I try and like, rally and try to like have a good time.
You're easygoing.
I try to be, but it's because I work hard and I'm confident in it.
My brother and I always talk about my father. He was tough. He was tough on us, and like many fathers can be, I guess. But we always said that he loved the people he worked with more.
Sure.
We always said that the people at work he treated the best, that he loved the most. He loved being around the most. That was his world.
Uh-huh. What did he do?
He worked in pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
He didn't take them, but
Yeah.
So I guess the analogy is like, is work what you love the most?
Yeah, work is what I love.
And then the
work.
real life is kind of like, your real life is work almost.
Yeah, the work is your life when you do that kind of.
When you love your work like that, it's a rarity.
It's such a big, full, immersive experience that it is your life, and it is your life.
Do you remember doing Gilmore Girls? Mm-hmm. Did you like it?
Totally.
You did?
Yeah, it was one of my first gigs. I mean,
I
was basically paying to be on that show.
Really?
Yeah, because I auditioned for it when I was like in LA one day, but I was a New York actress. And then it shot in San Diego. So I'm like getting myself to San Diego for like a day rate.
Somebody said that this could be hearsay. It's probably not even true. I don't even know. But somebody said that the girls didn't get along real well.
I was only on the last season, so I did not see that.
You didn't see a lot of the shit.
I didn't see any of it.
So it could have happened.
Great. I don't know anything. I didn't experience that at all. I had a good time there. And it was a weird little gig because I was barely in it, but it got a lot of attention. And that is a show that people love and stands the test of time. And it was just like one of my cute like early gigs.
I like it. All right. This is rapid fire with patrons. You just answer fast.
Sure.
Top tier patrons asking questions. Go to patreon.com/inside of you. Thank you. Here we go. The last 2 episodes. I don't know when they're going to air, but I didn't ask questions because it was just I got too involved. Stone H, who made you laugh the most on the set while filming She's Out of My League, one of my favorite movies?
TJ Miller. He was very funny. Everyone. You know who else? Nate Torrance.
Really?
Oh my God, he was so funny. Jay Baruchel's pretty funny too. It was a really and Jeff Stoltz was in it too. And I had a great time.
They all made you laugh.
They all made me laugh. And Alice Eve and I had so much fun. It was like the most fun. It was we were all 26 years old. We were all staying in a hotel in Pittsburgh, getting into trouble. We had the best time.
Wow. Nico, any plans for your novel before Bonfire to get made into a film?
Yeah, so it's a long process and it hasn't happened yet. It was optioned and sort of, we'll see. I hope so. I am working on another follow-up to it, which will be announced shortly.
Really?
I am.
What's Bonfire about?
Bonfire is a psychological thriller.
Would you play the lead?
Well, I might be getting too old to play it now. Next one, I'm going to make sure the character is like
you
a grown-up.
could still play in your late 20s.
Thank you.
Especially if you sleep.
Yeah, thank you.
Nathan J, I'm so excited for Orphan Black spinoff. Are you playing multiple characters too? Is it connected to the original?
It is not really connected to the original, but it is tangential to the original. It's set in that world. So I think fans of the original are going to be like into it, but it's not like you have to watch it to step in. I can't say much more beyond that at this point, even though like I know when it's coming out.
Is it dark?
It is. It's pretty fucking. It's cool. It's like it's dark and cool and edgy and rock and roll and science fiction and fucking it's cool.
All right, Raj, what is your most prized possession besides your little boy?
Besides my little boy, I love my Gibson Hummingbird.
Do you play guitar a lot?
Yeah, I have a beautiful guitar that I really love. I also I really like my car. I really like
you do like your car. You thought you dented it at my house.
Yeah, I know. But
I'm not going to mention your car.
Okay. Yeah, I do. I like my car because it's like where now as a mom, that's where I go to like blast my music really loud and like have quiet alone time. It's like my office. I got to make calls and go into the car.
I love her. I love you. Leanne, Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 is one of my all-time favorite shows. What's your favorite moment from that show?
My favorite moment from Don't Trust the Bee is the episode called Sexy People, where Chloe takes over People magazine. Never have I had more fun since then, even. Just
Really?
the most delicious. It was a psychotic character playing a character.
Who do you want to work with? Like, what's the top 5 people you come to mind that you're like, I want to work with this person. I've always watched them. I've always.
Oh my God, I don't even know where to start. Like you want to work with like people who are really like have a lot of pride in their work and are really fun and people that work
Meryl
hard.
Streep.
Yeah, sure.
Gary Oldman.
Everybody, yes, I would love to work with Meryl Streep and Gary Oldman, of course. All of them. Everyone that's on your list, I would like to work with them too.
What's the biggest director you've worked with?
Tim Burton.
What was with Tim Burton?
Big Eyes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to work with him again in another capacity.
You know
anyway, yeah.
The guys who created Smallville, Alan Miles, created Wednesday.
Oh, get the fuck out!
I don't know why you're not on there as some kind of cool character.
Just put me in the background.
I'm going to tell them.
Tell them, put me in the background.
No, you could be like her aunt.
I should totally
She's
be.
like 20. You could be your aunt.
Yeah, I should be like the grown up one or whatever.
What,
her
can
aunt.
you totally see that?
Please call them.
If they have a spinoff called Wednesday 10 years later.
You fucking call them right now and you tell them I'm available.
Hold on, watch this.
And I will.
No, hang on.
I am there. It would be like, okay, so can I tell you one story? When I was 12 years old, I started a new school. 12 years old, 13, going into 7th grade, right? New school, I have to walk to the bus station. I've got my like long black hair, my Guns N' Roses shirt, whatever. I get on the bus. These kids have never met me before and they're singing da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na. The motherfucking kids were singing the Wednesday
But I
Addams
could
song.
totally see that.
Yeah, I know. Now it makes sense, but at the time it was pretty crushing.
Oh, he's in the Zoom room with probably Tim Burton right now.
You tell him.
And I just said on with Krysten Ritter. Hop on if you can. Because I will tell him live on the podcast.
Dude, you make this happen for me and I'm going to buy you a steak dinner.
I would do it. You're a friend. I would do it anyway. I'm going to do it.
Okay, fine.
I wish more people would do that for me. No
I'll
one
do it
does
for you.
that. This has been too fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
This was fantastic. I'm not kidding. I thought this is going to be good. She's cool. You're a spark. I love it. I love talking to you. It's great.
Me too. I had so much fun. I hope people like your podcast and they don't think this is a boring episode.
Why would this be boring?
I don't know.
And you see how we ended up talking about the one thing we didn't talk about is like something. She's eating an apple. Let it go.
Oh, right. That's probably annoying.
No, it's not.
I'll move my head away.
Yeah. But you talk a little bit about, the anxiety that you get is usually when you have to do press and all those things.
Yes. But I find a way to use it. Ages ago, I heard a TED talk about how to like use your nervousness as like your superpower. And I tried to reframe how I thought about it. And then that whole thing was like, okay, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to throw up? You're going to faint? So what? And that really helped me kind of get through it. Like, right, who cares? If I throw up,
It's embarrassing.
it's embarrassing. People are going to talk about it, whatever.
So you really don't deal with a lot of anxiety throughout life and mostly.
Sometimes I do. It depends on what's going on. Like sometimes I absolutely do.
And anxiety, I mean like you
In
really
the body.
you're tingling. You're like, I don't know what to do.
Absolutely. I have had periods of like intense anxiety. And it's like, the weight of the world or whatever. It's like shit's going on. You're not sleeping, like all of that stuff. Compounding. I'll get some anxiety for sure. And it'll manifest in physical.
But you never
symptoms.
got on any meds or any Xanax or anything like that. You've never.
No, but I tackle it like with whatever, all the things that you do. Like
Meditation, exercise,
nutrient dense food, juices. Like just do whatever you can to fill up your cup. That's it. I try. And so when I get to it, like, oh, I'm in rough shape right now. What can I do? Okay, let's reach out to friends. Let's see a therapist. Let's go work out. Book the trainer. I asked my trainer, I'm like, what days do you have available? Copy, confirmed. I'll be there. Just say yes. Do
Diet,
the things.
I think, is huge.
Eat well. I mean, sometimes my diet's not great. I love like pizza and pasta and hamburgers. But I love like hobbies. And so I'll throw myself into a hobby. Whatever.
Are you athletic?
What do you think?
I'm not going to answer that.
I'm pretty tall and gangly. So I'm like sportsy.
How tall are you?
5'9".
You're still
plus.
5'9". Since you were 15, you're 5'9".
I might be a little hair more. 5'9.5". Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's very informative.
Why?
What?
That I'm still 5'9"?
No. just the whole anxiety thing.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's good. It's very good. It's very good.
So yeah, I have anxiety. I use it when I can. I try to use the nervous energy. I try to use it and just like reframe how I stress out about it whenever possible. I'm not an expert, but I do like try my best and I do like keep going.
Are you really good at comforting people, making people feel okay?
Yes,
Like,
absolutely. I'm a good friend.
Do you follow your own advice?
Yes, and sometimes like I try to like not always give advice, you know, you want to like hold space and acknowledge and validate, and I kind of do those things because like that's what I want to. Yeah.
How do you help people that don't want to help themselves?
If people don't want to help themselves, I don't really have a lot of those kinds of things. But listen, I'm a person who likes to go deep and communicate and like have emotional connections and like really talk about what's going on, like get really in the room. And so, yeah, I think I'm a good friend because fucking like let's talk about it.
There it is, Krysten Ritter. This has been awesome. You can finish your apple, and I have a salad in the fridge if you want to take that with you or eat it.
Okay.
Whatever. If you're hungry, it's good.
Yeah. I do, because I am busy and like I really appreciate when people give me food.
Well,
because I have a kid too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So there's no one, I'm like a mom.
You're
I'm
on
like,
the run.
I'm on the run. I'm working. I'm taking care of a kid. When somebody offers me food,
you take it.
Or says like, oh, that must be really hard. I'm like, oh, like this a little
you
bit
probably
of support.
haven't ate anything but this juice here today.
I've eaten the apple and the juice. That's it today so
you're
far.
probably hungry.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good talking to you.
Okay.
I loved it. Love you, Krysten. That was a joy. You were a joy to have on. Very animated and very smart. Great stories and just open. You know, I like the openness, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she was fun. Were you here for her?
I was here for
You
you.
were here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
she's great, right?
She was really great. You know, she was really easy to talk to.
Mm-hmm. She was. Look, I got this email. I don't normally read emails. It's been a long time. But I thought it was really nice. And I'll just read it. It's from Sam. He says, "Hey, Michael, it's Sam from Australia. I hope you're healthy and well. I just wanted to message you to let you know that I've been listening and following your Inside of You podcast and want to thank you for changing my life. Listening to your podcasts have inspired me and opened my eyes to my own mental health, and it's all thanks to you. I really appreciate what you do. Thank you, dude. Sam." And I just thought that was really nice. You know, if that's true, that I can't imagine, you know, changing someone's life. But if the show's doing that for you and if it's helping you out, it means a shit ton to me, Sam.
Yeah.
So
that was
thanks.
really nice. But when you said change, my brain went, "Oh no, he's going to offer constructive criticism." but this was ended up being way nicer.
Right. Oh, you thought it was going to be like, oh, he's going to.
I want to change. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Here are the top tier patrons, patreon.com/insideof. They give a little more. They get some cool stuff, swag, YouTube lives, Patreon, Zooms, get to ask questions on the to guests, blah, blah, blah. Join Patreon today, patreon.com/insideof. Here are the top tiers. Nancy D, Leah,
S,
Little,
Lisa,
you,
Kiko,
Jill,
E,
Brian,
H,
Nico,
P,
Robert,
B,
Jason,
W,
Sophie,
M,
Raj,
C,
Joshua,
D,
Jennifer,
N,
Stacy,
L,
Jamal,
F,
Janelle,
B,
Mike,
E,
Eldon,
Supremo,
99,
More.
Santiago,
M.
correct, Chad,
W,
Leanne,
P,
Janine,
R,
Maya,
P,
Maddie,
S,
Belinda,
N,
Dave,
H,
Sheila,
G,
Brad,
D,
Ray,
H,
Tabitha,
T,
Tom,
N,
Liliana,
A,
Talia,
C,
no, M,
M,
Betsy,
D,
Chad,
L,
Angel,
M,
Rhiannon,
C.
Corey.
Oh, I always miss this one.
It kind of goes with it. Corey
C, K,
K is right. Corey K. Dev,
Nexon,
Michelle.
E, D,
Just think Canadian.
Michelle A.
Jeremy.
Okay, this is where it gets tricky. R,
C. Jeremy C. Brandy. Just think of her name.
B,
Brand.
D, Brandy D.
Correct. Joey.
No.
M.
Yeah, this is
Eugene.
And Leah.
Correct. Corey. Heather.
C.
No. Actress. Heather.
Locklear.
Correct.
L. Yeah.
Jake. Another actor. Dad's weird. Jake.
G.
Jake.
Oh, B.
Busey. Yeah.
Busey.
Megan.
M.
T. Angela.
B.
Just think Angela forever.
Well, now
Angela
I
F.
was thinking of actors.
Mel. S. Orlando.
C.
Caroline.
R.
Christine.
K.
No, think Caroline R. Christine S. The
S.
next letter.
All right.
Eric. H. Shane. Shane R. Andrew. Think of McMahon or McCutcheon or
Andrew.
McCarthy. Andrew McCarthy.
Andrew
M.
M. I know Andrew McMahon. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Piano guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
Tim Leonard.
Yeah.
Karina N. Amanda. R.
R.
Jen B. Kevin E. Stephanie K. Jorel. Jammin.
J.
Leanne.
P. Again?
No.
E.
No.
L.
Jammin.
J.
Leanne.
J.
Correct. Luna. Just think lunar. Luna
Luna
R.
R.
Lunar.
Okay.
Cindy. Think of her name.
Lou. Cindy. L. C. D. Cindy.
Cindy. Correct.
Not Cindy Lou Who.
Mike.
Oh, God. H. E.
F.
F.
Think Mike Flanagan.
All right.
Stone.
Cold Steve Austin.
H. Think Stonehenge.
That makes sense.
Miss. Just add another S. Miss.
Oh, Miss S.
Miss S.
Miss Misdemeanor.
Brian.
L.
L. Katie B. Aaron R. Kendall L. House J. Meredith I. Charlene C. Kara C. Mary R. Sheena L. Jessica B. Kyle F. Marisol P. Estevan G. Megan K. Mickey L. And Brian A. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you'll tune in next week. Spread the word if you can. Write a review if you can. By this point in the podcast, only the top tiers are listening, most likely. From the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California, I am Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Tails.
We love you guys. Be good to yourself. We'll see you.